against the Shelby County School Board members from the public as a majority of board members vote to fire Superintendent Dr. Marie Fagans. Hello, I'm Greg Hurst.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Skurlock. The board reaching its decision about a half hour ago after a loud 3-hour meeting where tempers flared.
We have Team 3 coverage of the ouster vote, beginning with WRAG's April Thompson, who has been on top of the story from the very beginning. And April, a dramatic conclusion to a very emotional debate.
Very emotional, and you can see behind me people are still lingering about here, and that's because this has been a contentious meeting all night since it started. But like you said, it came down to that final vote, 6 voting that they wanted to get rid of Dr. Fagans, 3, McKissick, Porter, and Garcia, the only ones supporting her. Not enough for her to keep her job, but a lot of outbursts here, and a lot of it came after what we heard from the attorney, Robert Spence, who was hired by the school board chair to look into the allegations that were made against Dr. Fagans. And he laid it out. He had a thick packet that he said proved that she had misled the board, that she had been dishonest with some of the funds. And he said all of the things that they found, that it was factual, that the allegations that were made against her, they were proven according to him. Of course, some of the board members didn't really agree with that, saying they didn't even know that this packet was going to be coming forth, and they had not seen the packet, had not had a chance to look at it. Of course, that caused a lot of emotion right here in the board meeting. And then after that, Garcia, Commissioner Garcia, asked for an amendment to the termination amendment. She wanted to amend that and maybe keep Dr. Fagans. That did not pass. And so it's been on like that for a long time. But what we can tell you is in the end, she did not get the vote she needed. And right now, they moved to name an interim superintendent, and that will be Dr. Roderick Richmond, and he did accept that position. Another person had been recommended. She declined, Dr. Whitelaw, but Dr. Richmond said he would accept it. Some contention there when some people in the audience called him a traitor, and it was a kind of back and forth between him and someone in the audience. Just a sign of how contentious things have been here. Now, one of the school board members who wanted Dr. Fagans to stay and had been pushing for that and speaking out tonight is Michelle McKissick, and she's joining us now. What is your reaction? Did you ever think that it would come to this?
I honestly didn't think it would come to this. I really thought that we were playing a whole lot more fair than we actually were, because since the beginning of this started, I have not been a part of the process. I found out about the termination resolution 3 minutes before it was publicly announced, and even as far as having the board hired attorney, which I was not a part of hiring, that particular attorney had no say-so in it, and how he presented tonight. We were told that he was just going to read a statement, and then he went into theatrics. And it was just, it was already disconcerting that we got the report, which was this thick, just half an hour before our 5:30 meeting started. So it's just been this roller coaster that I have been on, and trying to listen to the community. This is not about me wanting to keep Dr. Fagans. This is about the community and the hope that she brought to the community over the last several months. So it's just very disappointing.
And one thing that you raised is what the state will say when they look at what has been done, and you're concerned about where we go from here.
The state has very much been watching this whole process. I had a conversation with Representative Mark White just earlier this afternoon, and he had me read a letter from him. He's in Nashville, asking them to not terminate the superintendent because she has been well received from so many different corners, the business community, the school community, teachers, students, families, just about everyone. But he said, depending on the decision that's made tonight, they have an obligation to respond. The school district receives $900 million in TSEP funding from the state. You can't just look the other way when that much money is being handed through the district, and the people who are elected to be the voice of the people are not listening to the people.
A lot going on here tonight, and now we have to see where to go from here. Thank you for being with us. And Michelle McKissick, like one of 3 who voted to keep her, but again, that was not enough. Dr. Fagans did give some brief statements after the vote, but one thing that she did say that maybe indicates where we go from here is that she's going to let her attorney do the talking, and she may be fighting this firing, saying that it was with cause. She says she's going to let her attorney do the talking for her. I'm News Channel 3's April Thompson reporting live at the school board.
All right, Michelle McKissack, not the only one who's surprised by this decision.